Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, tonight I want to go over the best of the worst. What does that mean? I'm looking at the top losers of this week, and I'm talking about altcoins, and there's a lot that has been underperforming for this week. So that is why this is the perfect opportunity to get in, to buy low and sell high, which is, I know, a new thing for a lot of you guys watching. You tend to FOMO and get flooded out, but no, that's not what you want to do. You want to actually take advantage when things are cheap, when there's a bargain to be had. And that's why I'm going to look at the best of the worst. So, thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. 2 streams every day, 11:30 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And just so you know, there's a lot of impersonators. I know most of you guys know that, but if you ever see a chat or whatever that's asking me to call you, or you call me, or Telegram, whatever, that's not me, okay? That's not me. But I know that there's a lot more impersonators out there. Just want to warn you guys. All right, guys. A lot of people already here. Let's do this. Change my screen. Well, things are looking a little better already. Things are looking a little better. I know people were freaking out over, there's just too many people that are just freaking out over any little dip. But Bitcoin just dipped to about 53, and then I heard it again, all the FUD and stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to go down to 40,000. The bull run is over. We're at top of this and hit this level and this and that. I just don't get it. I don't know what other proof is needed to convince some of you guys that this bull run is far from over. And everything that we've been hearing in terms of global adoption, traction, institutional buying, none of that is fake. There is FUD. There's manipulation. It's still a young market. It's still an emerging market. But come on now. And just to put things in perspective, people are panicking. Oh, Bitcoin's at 53,000. We were just at 53,000 just like a day ago. It actually hit that low overnight, and then go back. We hit it 3 days ago, and then we hit it 4 days ago. So it's not like, oh, this is unseen level since 6 months. No, this is unseen level since 2 days. People really need to chill out. People really need to chill out. If you know who I'm talking about, if you're one of them, you really need to chill out. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying, I'm watching this guy, and this guy's saying this, and this guy's saying this. And these are the same guys that switch their story every single day or every single week, depending on what the new narrative is, right? The name of the game is to not panic sell. You never want to panic sell. You sell at the top, you buy low, and then you dollar cost average and you hodl. That is it. That is it. Even if you made a bad decision and bought at top, and I'm talking about 2017, even if you bought Bitcoin at top at 20,000, guess what? You hold for 3 years, and now you're 3 times above that, right? So, dollar cost averaging and holding works. Although sometimes, yes, you may have to hold it a little bit longer than you want to, but still, we're very early in 2021. We're nowhere near the end of this cycle, and in my opinion, this cycle may be the one that never ends. But we'll see. We'll reevaluate towards the end of the year. But right now, at above $50,000, this is definitely not time to be panicking. Definitely not time to be panicking. All right, so with that out of the way, I just want to get that off my chest because there's always so much FUD. Every single time there's some weakness, but I don't get it anymore. But still, I have to address it because a lot of you guys are new. And, you haven't been through this yet, so I realize that. But anyways, let's go to CMC, which is still at $2.2 trillion. So if I recall correctly, just yesterday or the day before yesterday, we were below 2 trillion. I think we were at 1.97 trillion. So again, technically, we didn't really move down at all from a few days ago. Bitcoin might be a little bit weaker, and that's because Bitcoin dominance is actually a little bit lower now. But there's a lot of altcoins, especially like today. Ethereum is moving really quick, good because of the new Ethereum ETF that was introduced. But you have others that are holding relatively well too, like Uniswap that's still up 9%, right? Solana today killing it at 12%. So you still have some winners. Not everything is down at this point. And especially when you look at the last week, you'll realize there's some terrific gains that was made this last week, especially with altcoins, right? So again, proof is in the pudding, as they say, right? You look at the last 7-day performance, and half the list on the page 1 is all up double digits. I'm not talking about up 2 or 3%. I'm talking about double digits, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%, even Doge at 144%. So that also tells you something. But anyways, I want to reverse this list because, people always want to focus on the bad, but I'm going to turn that bad into good. So let's do the reverse. The worst losers of this week, at least on page 1. And if I have time, I can go to page 2. But let's look at page 1, the worst losers, and which ones that actually look interesting to me. Which ones are the best to pick up, in my opinion, at this time. So let's take a look. And a lot of these are very good ones. A lot of these are ones I talked about, but they have been weaker as of late. So we'll start with the biggest one here, okay? Avalanche at 31%. A lot of people like Avalanche. For me, I'm neutral on them. They're more DeFi, blockchain, more focused on DeFi, but they have a really strong relationship with Frontier, which is a small company project. But I'm more neutral on them, so I don't know why they actually sold off quite that much. Now, number 2, SushiSwap, I do know why they sold off too much, because PancakeSwap is eating their cake and taking away their dinner, because all the liquidity, all the traders are moving away and they're going to PancakeSwap right now. So that kind of makes sense. XRP pumped up quite a bit the previous weeks. Now it's settled down at 130. It's down actually 28%. I'm actually surprised the XRP Army is not as strong as before. Before, XRP Army would just keep this above 150 and plus. But XRP, even though they're down, they're number 4 on CMC, right? So they're definitely a big cap. I do still stress, I think that holding XRP is let's just say it's irresponsible not to hold some XRP right now. So if there's more weakness for XRP, I actually think it's a good pickup at this point. Cosmos is a fantastic project. I love Cosmos. I think they're very undervalued. So they're down 28%. They got a whole slew of chains that's built with their SDK, including Binance Smart Chain, among others. So Cosmos, I think is really nice. So that is one I would pick up. Ravencoin, kind of neutral on, the graph. The graph, I think, is necessary. It helps projects come out with APIs for data retrieval. So I think that's necessary. I think they're a good play. KuCoin token, I think they're fantastic. They've been volatile. They've been jumping between like $10. They were at $10, went up to 15, now back to 13. But they've been volatile. But I believe in KuCoin. You guys know that. I talk about KuCoin all the time. If you can't get into Binance, you get into KuCoin. And a lot of the things that you can't buy anywhere else, for example, BNB, like I love BNB. If you can't buy BNB on Binance, where do you buy it? Well, you buy it from KuCoin, right? So they're one of the only exchanges that actually offers tokens from other exchanges. Not only that, they have a Huobi token listed as well. So, they have a whole lot of stuff like dividends and profit sharing and token burning a lot. So I think KuCoins will go far. And if you look at the trading volume, has been going up a lot since even like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So I like them. So next up is Near Protocol. I think they have potential. Near Protocol is also fast, promising blockchain utilizing sharding, but they have a ton of backers. I mean, they raised an enormous amount of money. They had the ICO like a year after they had like a Series A or whatever. So they actually have a lot of money, a lot of backers, a lot of people believe in them. So I think they could do very well. Still very early stage, but they could definitely get better. Kicking myself, I didn't get in on Card Starter. Is there hope? Yeah, there's still hope. At AOS Network, that's more like a video streaming platform, right? Card Stack isn't that high. Card Starter, well, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. I'll look at that later. AIs is interesting. I heard Mr. Beast was into it. I'm not sure if that's real, but I'll look at it later. 0x, so-so, like a DEX protocol, layer 2 kind of, but I don't hear a lot of people utilizing it. Harmony is another one. Harmony, I'm actually really quite surprised by. Yes and no. Because when I discovered Harmony, they went up on a crazy run, like a 5x or 6x run. And then since then, they've been showing weakness, right? Including this week down 21%. But I still believe in Steven. I think he's a very intelligent guy. He has proven himself, and they're well-funded, and they're based in the U.S., right? And you can get them on a lot of U.S. exchanges, so I do believe they have a lot of things going. Someone is asking about why are transaction fees so high? Because a lot of people are on Ethereum. It's been like that forever, but I noticed it recently. Just doing like a Uniswap swap, like costs you like $90. Like if you want to trade anything, it's like $90 per transaction. It's insane. This is the reason why Binance Smart Chain is dominating right now with transactions and trades, because it's just so much cheaper, so much cheaper. John asked about storage and Sidecoin. I go with neither. I go with Arcweave. Harmonies go explode with one moon. Based on what you're saying, it's probably some kind of DeFi play, but they had a few. They had Mochi that didn't really do well. It was really hyped up. And then they have Viper. I think that's still doing better. I don't know about one moon. So I have looked into, Mochi is kind of like dead. Silo, I did look into it. I don't see the big promise. Someone was trying to explain to me. I didn't see it. So I have to do more research on them. All right, moving on. Kusama. Testbed for Polkadot. I think they're terrific. They have gone up quite a bit. Came down a little bit. I think they're a good pickup. Hashgraph. Hedera Hashgraph. I always thought that that the chain was actually called Hashgraph. No, that's the consensus. It's Hedera. But yeah, they seem promising. Still a little bit too tightly structured in my opinion, but it may work out in the long run. You guys need to watch that interview to know what I'm talking about, right? Curious why VET is such a huge company, it's huge partners is still under $1. It takes time. And plus they're in China. And crypto trading is banned in China. So you got to remember that. But when it's not, then think about the potential. Right? Even though BTC's off, I pay some dues. Appreciate that, Bob. Stellar. People ask me about Stellar. I just don't know what their future plans are. I haven't seen anything about any future plans for Stellar. They seem to be content that is done. Be fair. Those channels I kind of gave up on because I don't have time. But I do have a car channel called Drivers Only for those of you guys that like cars. Crypto.com is very good. People ask me why it's not going up. Well, it's already pretty big at 5 billion, right? I think this is the level it should hold at for a while. They have a Visa partnership. They have their own chain. You know, there's a lot of things going on. So I think they're good. Nervous Network, I don't know. It's like a network that can transfer tokens and at least talk to each other, interoperability, but don't know too much else about that after that. What's up with Maker? I don't know. They just pumped. They were so stagnant for a while, so they just pumped. Polkadot, obviously, they've been very underperforming, I should say. From the big caps in the top 10, they're the only one that really didn't move, while everything else moved in a big way except Polkadot, so I think their turn should be coming. Synthetic, I'm neutral on now because there's too many competitors. Elron is also pretty good. They're coming up a little bit today, but promising blockchain. Helium is very interesting. I do like Helium quite a bit. They pumped up as high as 18 before falling back down. But they're all about creating a mesh network, and you could get a miner and provide service and get rewarded for it. So I like Helium quite a bit, and same thing with the team too. Tezos, promising blockchain. I don't know what their plans are. I haven't really heard much about Tezos, but I did hear that they're getting into NFTs and DeFi. I've just read some stories about how they were entering this space. I forgot the particulars of it, but I did read that they were getting into it. So that'll definitely help them. Aave, one of the biggest lenders, although it's still, I think I read they went to Polygon, but they were on Ethereum. That held them back a little bit, so they decided to go with Polygon, which makes a whole lot of sense. Helps them. Ren, I think there's too much competition again. Cardano, I don't have to say much about Cardano. A lot of you guys love Cardano, but it is down 16% for this week, so good pickup point. Yields, not a fan of. OMG, neutral. Basic attention token, I still big fan. Basic attention token is very aggravating sometimes because it'll go like for a year without moving, and then all of a sudden it pumps up, and then a year without moving. So it did pump up quite a bit recently because they announced they're coming out their own DEX, their own search engine, and so forth, right? But after that, it kind of just stalled a little bit, right? So they're aggravating sometimes, but I still like them quite a bit. Their Brave browser gets like 5 million active users per month or something like that, so pretty good. Serum is a DeFi play that moved to Solana, so that's the only thing I know. I don't really hear about anyone utilizing them. They're more like a DEX. Travala, yeah, Travala is not doing too well right now. Like, there's not that many people that's traveling. Maybe when people start traveling again. Obviously, Bitcoin is down 14%, so that has a lot of people concerned. But keep in mind, while Bitcoin has been stagnant and going down, a lot of altcoins have been gaining, right? There's a lot of altcoins that has been gaining. Clayton, founded by some like South Korean like big companies, so I think they're good, but they were very overhyped. When they hit CMC, they were like at $11 billion, so things are coming down a little bit. T-Fuel, part of Data's ecosystem, their dual token setup. I like them a lot. Before I didn't, but they started pumping a lot. So I like it now. Icon, we'll see. Terra, I do like. Stable coins and a whole bunch of apps that support it. Okay, what else did I miss? Maki swap seems to be a pancake. All these swaps or AMMs, I should say, I would stay away because right now there's at least dozen or two, and none of them are doing well except the big dogs, Pancake Swap and Uniswap. So I would stick with the big leaders. All these other ones, they're gonna have a hard time competing with the same kind of user features and liquidity pools and stuff like that. Polkadot, yes. Sora, didn't look at. Stake, sure, I didn't look at it yet, so I can't talk about it. Thor, Hollow. Hollow's interesting. Thor's interesting. Thor is about swapping tokens also. A lot of big backers behind it. Although I don't know what advantage they have versus anyone else. Maybe they don't. They're just the leader of it, but they're quite big. Going down the list, what else do I like? Chainlink, I do like quite a bit. The biggest Oracle play. Whenever anyone asks me about Oracles, I'm like, no, go with Chainlink. They're down 11%, so it could be a good pickup. Phantom is pretty good. Zilliqa is pretty good. A 2017 project that's risen from the dead. Celsius, which is pretty good. A centralized lending service. They compete with Blockfi, who is my sponsor. But that doesn't mean I'm going to say anything bad about Celsius. I think Alex is actually a really good guy. He basically founded Voice over IP. So they do things a little bit differently. But if you're looking to stake your crypto, or not stake, deposit your crypto and earn interest, like with Blockfi 8.6%, then check them out. There is a bonus as well. So I have my link in the description. Flow, I think they're the leaders of NFT. They're not in America for some reason. You can't buy Flow directly. But, NBA Top Shots is running on top of Flow. And NBA Top Shots is blowing up. They're getting so much funding. Every single NBA player is like getting involved and stuff. Really huge. Thoughts on Option Finance Project? Yeah, you know what? They could do good, but I'm not interested because there's just too much. A lot of the manipulation and a lot of the the liquidations and stuff. They're all based on derivative stuff. So I think the less derivative stuff, the better. So that's my opinion. That's why I'm not very interested in option plays. All right, so all these guys are going to get banned. Orion Protocol, I think is good. I think they're good. Actually, I have an interview that I'm going to release probably Friday afternoon. But they're all about providing liquidity and trading. So they have a really cool terminal set up and basically aggregates liquidity from both kind of exchanges. And they make it really easy. So I do like them quite a bit. What else is there? FTX is an exchange. I haven't used them before, but I think they're by Alameda, which is a huge company, right? Theta, of course. I think Theta being a big cap now, they kind of stopped moving, but Theta, they have their mainnet 3.0 that's coming out in a couple months, right? I think they're just gonna be huge. They're definitely the biggest decentralized streaming platform out there. Polygon is Matic. They have a lot DeFi projects on top of them, so I think they're going to do very well. I'll skip over Litecoin. Anchor, one-click node deployment, but you could see they're not really down anymore, right? So now these are like they're not really that much. They're not bargains at this point, right? They're not down 20 or 10 or 15%. These are all getting to the greens pretty soon, right? But I think Anchor, is pretty interesting. Nexio is another like lending play. Uniswap up 11% today. I think Uniswap is definitely a good one. And then going down the list, Ethereum and others, they start turning green, right? So yeah, that's like the best of the worst, the best of the losers. And I hate to say losers, but I mean they're actually fantastic projects. So, like I said at the beginning of the stream, right? You buy low, you sell high, right? You don't want to actually buy things when it's foaming up like crazy, right? I know that's almost an impossible emotion to handle sometimes. Like, I have to get in or I'm missing out, right? FOMO. But, these are the days, right? You got to train yourself that these are the days you want to buy. When things are weak and when everyone is believing in FUD and everyone is like trying to panic sell, you don't want to follow the herd. You want to stand away from the herd. You want to take advantage when other people are panicking, and today's one of those days. All right, I'm gonna let you guys. Let's do some Q&A. I've been answering questions already, so today's a little different, and I'm going to enjoy one of my favorite beverages, White Claw. Actually, you know what? At first, I didn't like White Claws at all, and it's not like I really like them, but it's something. Fourth listed today. I saw that just out of the blue. I don't even know what. Oh, Ample Fourth. I was gonna say like fourth. I never heard of fourth. Ample Fourth. I don't even. Let me remind myself what they're doing because they actually didn't pump. I wonder if that email. The email should be true, right? Fourth is a new governance token that completes the Ample Fourth ecosystem by putting control of the protocol in the hand of community. Anyone who's there, okay. So it's a governance token, but what is it? It's a rebasing cryptocurrency. It's Bitcoin, but it could use in contracts. What does that mean? Yeah, so it's an algorithmic token, basically, that rebases. Okay, Ampleforth is actually, I think, a competitor to Benchmark, except Ampleforth is based around the dollar. Benchmark is based around the SDR, which is backed by the dollar and euro and yen and others, right? So it's a little bit different. At least the denomination is different, but they seem like they're very similar. But yeah, very interesting. That they just got it out in Coinbase all of a sudden. I did not look into Oasis. Sorry, I did not. I actually got distracted. I actually looked up other projects. I did not. Koala, I'm not gonna do that, but I should. Melroney, if you didn't super chat me, you would be banned from this channel. Love your channel. What price do you see one in bet this summer? You're holding huge bags. I'm guessing you do. Otherwise, you would not be asking that. I like both quite a lot. VET is now a big cap, right? It has broken that 10 billion mark, and I think that's very significant. When you break above the 10 billion and you can hold, that's very, very, very hard to do. So you definitely have the network effect. People are paying attention to the project now. So VeChain, I think, has endless potential. I don't know by the end of summer, but I do think they're going to be in top 10, and they could push much higher than that. And one also has been done really well. So I hope, what's missing from one is those DeFi and NFT plays. Now there's more coming, but they're not obviously as big as some of the other ones on Binance Smart Chain and even Solana and even Ethereum. But once they do, I think it'll drive them up a lot. Do you think ETH will diverge from BTC tendency? That decoupling that you're wondering about? People have been asking that since the beginning of time. It over some stretches it has. Over very, very long stretches, no. But the fact that we now have Ethereum ETFs could mean that there could be decoupling. Because maybe institutions love Ethereum and they want to put more into it, right? That's going to cause more buying. And you can see with the last 7 days, yeah, it has held much better than Bitcoin, right? So there could be. Yeah, I mean, in 2021, there's a lot of things that's very different. I know we like to compare. We like to look at history because we're comfortable with what has happened. But the landscape in 2020 and 2021 has really changed. It's really not comparable. Just think about it. There's Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs now, when that was impossible in 2017. So, that's just one small example. Why is the ERC20 pumping today? I just got done saying because there's an Ethereum ETF. Nano, they're a currency. They're supposed to be a currency, but they're having some problems with 51% attack right now. So they need to resolve that ASAP. What will happen to XRP when they win the lawsuit? They will probably pump hard. It's amazing because they were at like 50 cents. The lawsuit happened. They dropped down to 20 something cents. And honestly, I thought they would stay there for quite a long time. But the XRP army is stronger hand than I thought. So they pushed it up. Obviously, the bull market has been helping. The altcoin season has been helping. So now they're kind of stuck in 130, 150 range. But if they win that lawsuit, they're not going to win. What's going to happen is they're going to settle, just like all the other projects, right? It's just a matter of how much they settle, how long it's going to take, and so forth. But when that happens, I think they're going to pump. Silo is still, it looks interesting. I just don't know enough about them that really makes them stand out at this point. Yeah, Ashton, that's the thing. I think there's just too many. You know why there's so much FUD? Because, unfortunately, I'm one of the only channels that concentrate on fundamentals. There's so many other channels that it's all about TA. And, TA is like, you could fit anything with any narrative, basically, right? And a lot of guys are just creating, like, all these scenarios. This might happen, this might happen. And, of course, the bigger the drop or the bigger the event, it's going to draw in more views. And I feel like a lot of the FUD is from those kind of videos because a lot of people come in, they watch a lot of videos and they're like, oh, look, this guy's saying this guy's saying this, right? But they're not paying attention to the bigger picture. I think that's the thing. Ban Protocol. Ban Protocol's competitor to Chainlink. I liked them before, but they kind of lost a lot of traction because Oracle's, quite honestly, the projects only trust Chainlink at this point. Gorilla Diamond token, I'm not even going to check that just based on the name. Talk about a debate. So I tweeted this. Debate between Michael Saylor and Frank, I forgot his last name. Frank Gustara, who seems like a very smart guy and a big gold guy and a miner, right? Frank, his agenda was pretty clear, that he wanted to attack Michael in a respectable way, but because he wanted to show that Michael said a lot of things that were wrong. It wasn't so much that Bitcoin is worse than gold. He just wanted to point out that Michael may be exaggerating his claims on Bitcoin, and attacking gold is unwarranted. So his arguments were more like debate. Like he wanted to go after Michael and wanted Michael to kind of counter that. But Michael, you could tell, this is the first time I've seen where in an interview, he's reading off a script. He has never done that before, which shows he's nervous for this, right? And a lot of times he dodged questions. He was going off a script. So I was very disappointed to see that. He did not rebuke like Frank in a lot of things he said. He just continued on what he wanted to say. So that's the disappointing part. Not that I think Michael messed up. He said the same things that I've heard a long time, right? He brought in some new facts about gold and how it's always been confiscated and stuff like that. But I wish he would have actually debated Frank more. He just went off more of his script, and that's not what a debate is about, right? It should be more like back and forth and so forth. But I think a lot of people just found like Michael, like I read the comments, even my tweets, everyone's saying like Michael won. The other guy doesn't really know what he's talking about. I did not find that at all. I think the other guy defended gold really well. If Peter defended gold like Frank, he would get a lot more followers. But Peter just does not know how to debate gold. So it's an interesting watch. It's very long, an hour and a half. So if you guys haven't watched it, make sure you do so because it's actually very, very interesting. Do you think that since everyone's expecting April to be bullish and the whales did the opposite? Could. You know, just like everyone expected March to be bad and March turned out to be good. So things tend to rhyme, but doesn't always have to happen, right? But like I want to remind you guys, this week is not over, and we still have next week, right? So there's a lot of option calls that puts Bitcoin at 80,000. I know it seems like, yeah, 80,000 is very far-fetched, but let's not forget we were at 64,000 not too long ago, right? So things can move very, very quickly. Steven, thank you. Is DigiBuy still a buy level? Well, they pumped up recently. Because they're introducing a layer 2, which can layer in like smart contract things. That helped them. But you know what? I would wait until they settle down a little bit. So phone booth, I just talked about it. Omi, I think everyone keeps asking about Omi. They're fine. They're one of the biggest NFT marketplaces. So I think they'll do well, especially since they have the licensing. I think that's the very important thing. My ledger reset over the weekend. My word key is now saying invalid. No joke. I just lost everything. Make sure you know how to restore your wallets. Test run. So you didn't write down your recovery phrase? I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I don't know though, because they usually what they tell you to enter it. Like when you get your ledger and you first set it up, they're like, okay, write this down and then re-enter it. Like. So there's like no way it should not work. So I would double check. And there's no times, like you could do restore as many times as you want, right? As far as I recall, there's no like locked limit. So I would keep trying. Maybe you just mistyped a word or something. Thoughts on elongate? No, I'm not gonna look at that. Too many people are shilling that. That's just one of those projects I'm not gonna look at. I have looked at Unlock Protocol. So they're about unlocking articles and basically movies, whatever, YouTube channel, but mostly about articles, right? That already exists. Like Wall Street Journal does that already, but they're trying to come out with a decentralized version of it. I think they're too early. They are backed by Coinbase Ventures, but they're too small, too early right now. I don't think a whole lot of people is paying attention to them, so... Affordable says invest in gold and real rental property for 10 years. Sold my gold for crypto last week. It's not even comparable. Gold held value. Crypto 20x the value. Yes. See, that's the thing, and I don't disagree with that. I'm because I'm in crypto. Of course, I don't disagree with that. But what Frank was saying in his video makes a whole lot of sense. Gold is supposed to be a store of value, one that basically hedges against inflation and value. Turbulence, right? Like when economies actually crumble. So if that's the intended purpose, it works. It works, right? But Bitcoin is now the new store of value, but it's also a speculative asset. So that's where I think there's a difference, right? Like Like Frank was trying to point out, Michael, you're talking more about Bitcoin being a speculative asset, not a store of value, right? And Michael's like, no, it's a store of value. The value goes up. But I kind of see it where it is more a speculative value asset, speculative asset. That's why it's going up. But it may one day turn into that store of value, right? The ultimate store of value. But that's where I think it's maybe semantics, the way you define things. But of course, you're not wrong. Bitcoin has gone up 1,000,000% within the last 10 years when gold has gone down in the last 10 years, right? Versity. I'm not really a big fan of Versity. What percentage of portfolio would you consider putting on BlockFi? It really depends on your risk tolerance, right? Whenever there's any kind of lending, of course there's a risk. But BlockFi, I've talked to them extensively. They do, over collateralized loans on both sides with retail and institution. Everything's stored in cold wallet. With BitGo and Gemini, which has insurance, right? BitGo's insurance just went up to 700 million recently, so they're about as safe as you can get, right? So if you're holding on to your Bitcoin and Ethereum or USDT, Litecoin, these kind of guys, I think even Chainlink, if you're holding a long term and you want to make some passive income, they're a great play. Now, whether or not you put all of it in or just a few, that's up to you. Again, that's risk tolerance, right? But at this point, they seem to be pretty safe. So that's how I'd answer that. Yeah, I got done. That was one of the first projects that cover Avalanche. I'm not very excited about them. I think you need to look at Silo seriously, maybe. I looked at them. I still don't see it. Edward. Phantasma. Yeah, I think he's coming out with NFTs there. I mean, they're an NFT marketplace, but they're one of the ones that they're backed by Neo. They have their own chain. They look promising. But right now, there's a saturation of NFT marketplaces. There's just too many. There's so many NFT marketplaces. That's why I think there are a lot of them are like, iffy right now. Not iffy, but stagnant. Speedy Burns, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you don't give up. I don't know how much you lost. It's probably significant. This is one of the things with crypto, right? You control your own funds, but sometimes for worse, I guess. I hate to hear it. So hopefully you don't give up. Hopefully you do come back. You rebuild. I know you could get it back. You know what? Just keep at it. Chainlink 2.0 white paper. Quite honestly, I don't read white papers at all. I don't read them anymore. White papers were very, very good back in 2017 when no one built anything. Now, everyone has built something. Now it's about traction and what you can do. That's why I don't read them anymore, because white papers can promise the world, but if they can't perform and they can't meet deadlines, what's the point, right? So I look at traction these days. Refinable. The only thing that Refinable could be big because they're the first big marketplace on Binance Smart Chain, and Mr. B somehow invested in them. I'm actually trying to get in touch with him to see if he could clarify that. Hopefully he will, and then hopefully I could do an interview. But they could be big. They could be big. A Celsius wallet, safe also. I hear good things about Celsius, yes. I talked about Omi already. I think they're going to do very well. Can you confirm R is bad? I see it getting top all the time. I mean, it's a meme, right? R about pirates, and I don't know if they're like, wow, I'm surprised they're 1.3 billion. I did not know they were that big. The most anonymous cryptocurrency, a truly private decentralized blockchain, a privacy coin that can take financial, okay. So they're all about privacy, security, I guess, right? There's a million coins like that, like Monero, Dash, and all of them do it. The problem with this is you'll never see them get listed on a big centralized exchange because of what they do, especially in the US, because, people, the regulators, they want to track the transactions. So I stay away from all privacy coins. Someone asked earlier about VThor. I think VET is a much better hold than VThor, especially after they decreased their fees. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna enjoy my White Claw. It's getting hot in here also. A lot of questions, but basically, you know, Bitcoin, this is not time to believe in FUD. There's a lot of FUD. Every time there's a little down, there's FUD, okay? Bitcoin is just fine. We're very early in the cycle. And plus, just, you know, the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture, the adoption, the usage, PayPal, Venmo, Visa, the banks, MicroStrategy, Square. You know, you could go on and on and on and on, right? It's very different now versus the previous times. And I think Bitcoin has proven itself, especially in 2020, going from basically 20,000 to 60,000, now taking a little breather at 54. There's really nothing else you could say. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and it's doing just fine. And while Bitcoin's having weakness, guess what? Altcoins are on fire. Altcoins are on fire. If you check your portfolio, if you've been following the 50-25-25 rule, you look at your week's performance, it should be way in the green. It should not be anywhere close to zero, right? So if you've been holding on to good ones, you know, the altcoins I've been talking about, and following the 50-25-25 rule, you should be up huge within just a week. And then you look at the month, and then you look at 3 months, and then you'll be like amazed by how much you've made over the last, you know, week, month, or 3 months. So right now, it's definitely not time to believe the FUD and panic, right? So chill out and enjoy it. Buy low, sell high. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right?